What's up out there? Let's talk about the live stream we had today for 3.23 Path of Exile Affliction. I've got the patch notes up. I'm not going to read through this whole thing. In fact, it's just more of a backdrop. We might scroll through a little bit of it here in a second, but I wanted to talk about the live stream. First and foremost, they went on for quite a while about Path of Exile 2. In my opinion, they needed to have done that in a separate thing, either do a separate video for it, do a separate stream, or at the end of the stream or whatever. I was there for the thing that goes on next week, the thing that's 7 days from now, not the thing that's 7 months from now. I don't care about Path of Exile 2. As much as I'm interested in Path of Exile 2, I don't care about it at this moment. Same thing with any early access game like Last Epoch and stuff like that. I'll play it, check it out, enjoy it for a little bit, and then I don't care about it until it's out. So at this point, all this Path of Exile 2 talk is not my interest. I don't care. I didn't mind it during the first portion of it where they showed some gameplay. They went on a little bit too long with the gameplay. They could have cut that down a little bit. In my opinion, they could have just made a video and said, here, go watch that. You know, they could have put a little trailer together or something. They could have done a lot of things differently. The thing that really bothered me is when they went into the Q&A portion, they started off with PoE 2 and just went on forever. All I wanted to hear about was Affliction and the patch notes. And it took, an extra hour to get the patch notes. Like, far too much time was spent screwing around with everything but Affliction. All I care about is next week. That's it. So, as much as I appreciated what they did with Path of Exile 2, I don't care. I'll care more in a few months. I don't care right now. And as far as Path of Exile 2 goes, I haven't really been watching a lot of content on it. And I see a lot of people speculating about various things on it. In my opinion, my biggest concern is that they're staggering the seasons. And I have a feeling that once I get into Path of Exile 2, I'm going to play that for several seasons and probably ignore Path of Exile 1. Now, as far as Path of Exile 2 is, from what they show, in my opinion, Path of Exile 2 looks more like your standard ARPG that I'm used to, more accustomed to things like Grim Dawn. I think what Last Epoch is, and probably closer to the original Diablo and Diablo 2, more than what Path of Exile 1 is. Now, I know they're probably slowing things down for the trailer, but in my opinion, it looks more like a traditional ARPG where things are more deliberate. I love what I'm seeing. Don't get me wrong. I love what I'm seeing about PoE 2. I just don't care about it. I got something 7 days from now versus something 7 months from now. I can't deal with that. I don't care about that. I want this. So, moving on to Affliction League. So, when they showed Affliction League and they showed the extra ascendancy you get and all that, I was stoked. I was happy. I enjoyed that. I don't know anything about Ultimatum. Everybody seems to like it. To me, it looks like Sanctum or something else, and I'm like, okay, whatever. I did not really bother with Sanctum this league. And I have not really bothered with Heist. There's like stuff that I've just kind of bounced off of. I just don't care. I have a feeling Ultimatum's going to be one of those that I'm just like, whatever. It's another part of the game. I'll get to it eventually. But what bummed me out, and I was kind of excited for everything, and then they took Metamorph out, and I'm like, you got to be kidding me. So Metamorph is a mechanic that I really liked. And I watched during their Q&A, they explained the reasons why they removed it, because it's more of, you don't necessarily, like they said, you don't know why you're dying or something like that. And it's like one monster, you go build the monster and you kind of sit in one place and you kill it. And I've gotten to that. And I've spent a lot of time here in the last week or two just working on Metamorph, just for the catalysts and stuff. I've been focused on getting those catalysts, and that was going to be one of the things, I don't want to say a pillar, but it was one of the things that I was going to go into this next league with, the idea in mind of getting Metamorph early to mid, somewhere in the mapping section, and try to get some catalysts built up for my rings and amulets and belts and stuff like that. I finally understand how they work and how they remove it. So, I mean, not that I have like that much experience. I'm basically have one full league under my belt at this point. But I'm bummed because I really like Metamorph. Now, the cool thing is they said if you have the Metamorph stash tab, it's just going to become the Ultimatum stash tab. Cool, all good, we're fine there. I just think it sucks that they removed that content. I hope it comes back in some other way, more meaningful way. I really liked it, and I really had a lot of fun with it this league, just checking it out. And now I've cleaned out my stash tab and just basically deleted everything but the catalyst, because the catalysts are the only thing that's going to stay. So I'm pissed off about that, and I'm kind of bummed out that they're taking it out. They've added a massive ton of these transfigured gems. There's a whole giant list of these things. I don't know if it's on here or not. I know there is this list. They basically touched all the skill gems in the entire game. And I looked up in here, Fire Trap. It says quality now provides. So the quality now provides 0 to 80% increased trap trigger effect instead of 0 to 20 increased fire damage. So more of an area effect rather than fire damage. Does that mean it doesn't scale on fire anymore? I don't know. We'll have to see how this goes. And Righteous Fire, because I am going to be playing Righteous Fire, I don't see any reason not to. But Righteous Fire no longer deals 39 to 2447 base fire damage per second. It now deals 70% of your maximum life and energy shield as base fire per second, both previously 35%. Quality now provides extra radius instead of 0 to 20% increased burning damage. So is that like a huge nerf to it? I'm not sure. That also definitely means you're going to have to work on max life and stuff like that. So they probably looked at how people were playing that build and said, all right, we're going to do something that modifies it in some way. But on the flip side, they've added all these transfigured gems that add a whole bunch of other stuff. And I didn't see, I don't know if that shows up in here or not. I don't think so. But they've added a whole bunch of other stuff. And I don't know if it says it in here or not. New content and features. It's like 100 of these gems or something. Doesn't say it in here, does it? Some new unique, some more base types, foiled stuff, whatever. They've added some new divination cards and whatever. I really like the Affliction League. I think that looks awesome. And now your Ascendancy tree has another Ascendancy tree on top of it. So I thought that was really cool. And I love the idea that they have alternate Ascendancy trees that we could get. I mean, that if they really dig into that every league and you have just another Ascendancy thing to add on to your thing, I mean, that's just an insane amount of possibilities there. So I am really excited for this next league. And the other thing that I was kind of bummed about too is that they didn't show us the big microtransaction thing, the core packs or whatever. I was really curious to see what the core packs look like, and they said they're changing something about that to where they're blending two things together. So, like, do you buy the one pack for the year? You know, like what we did now was you buy the one core pack, and then you could buy the other packs if you wanted for the leagues. So are they just making one giant core pack for the entire year, and it's like $1,000 or something? Or I'm kind of curious to see how that goes. The stuff they showed for it looked really cool, and I'm probably down to buy it, and next week could get very expensive depending on what they show. But I think that just about covers everything. We've got the patch notes. I'm more or less waiting to see what Pox does, and I don't know if they showed somewhere in here. We've got the passive tree, and I don't know that this actually shows for the new tree or not. So I don't know if this is updated for the next one. Doesn't say, does it? Game type, yeah, it doesn't really say. So I don't know if this is for this league or not. And I don't know if they show the Atlas tree. I don't see it on here, do they? Do have the Atlas tree. I'm going to guess this is from still our current league. I don't think they've probably updated this yet. So I don't know when they update this, but I'm actually kind of curious to see how it is. No clue when POB is going to get updated or Pox's thing's going to get updated. I'm probably going to take the build guide that I have now and just continue forward with it without anything better. That's going to be my plan for the next league, is to go forward. One of the things that I was going to do is work on catalysts and stuff like that, and that's out the door. So I'm going to have to wait probably a week, a few days, and see how all this shakes out and see what comes out of the patch notes and stuff like that. Then I'll really formulate how I'm going to work with this next league. I was really looking at, this is kind of where I want to go on the Atlas tree and stuff like that. But if they're changing things that drastically, my plans probably changed drastically. And with all the new skill gems and stuff, or the transfigured gems and the changes to the skill gems and everything they got going. I think they changed stuff about quality and everything. So like there's a huge amount of things changing. So in my opinion, it was a good chance to get in and see what Metamorph was. Unfortunately, it's the end of Metamorph at this league. And it was also good for me to get in and learn my build and spend the time. And I'm happy that I'm going into the next league with a lot of knowledge of the game. But at the same time, this seems like a massive shakeup. And I'm kind of scared of the future. So anyway, that will do it for this video. We will catch you on the next one. Take care.